You are so beautiful to me. You are so beautiful to me. Can't you see? You're everything I ever hoped for. You're everything I need. And you are so beautiful to me.
I can distinctly remember 2 nights ago when the sound of wings flapping against my window pane awoke me from a deepened sleep. It sounded as if a mini helicopter had taken its landing on my window sill. Startled, I arose from my state of pre-comatose, loosened the hinges and elevated my window only to reveal a bird with his eyes filled with tears. I invited him in, and as he took position on my nightstand, with my head propped up with one hand, I gave him my attention undivided and he spoke. He complained and expressed his desires to be something other than a bird that simply herds air beneath its wings and forages the ground for worms and simple things. He told me his dreams, to one day become mighty and proud like the lion who was the jungle's king. So, interested with concern, I attempted to discern fiction from fact, and as an act of curiosity, began to question the origins of his insecure mentality. You know, the who's, the what's, the when's, the where's, and the how's it could be. And he told me it started when he tried to lift a twig. A twig that was a tidbit too big, and as he did, the other animals began to ridicule and ostracize his size. Feeling embarrassed and insecure, he took flight and decided to hide. He flew until he perched himself on the bosom of a bush, and he started to cry. He cried out, "God, why? Why wasn't I born with the wings of an eagle that has the strength to fly through storms? Why wasn't I beautifully multicolored like the macaw, or blessed with the voice of the jaybird whose song sounds like an angel's horn?" And again he flew. Only this time his vision was blurred by the tears that resulted from the pain which ultimately caused him to collide into my window pane. And at that moment, my heart sank because I felt his pain. So deepening my state of contemplation, I pondered the best method of advice. To say, cheer up, that was too nice. On the other hand, I doubted if my advice possessed the might to change his life, so I proposed a question. I said, what if the trees wanted to be the clouds and the clouds wanted to be the trees? Who would alarm us of the changing seasons by the transitioning leaves? I asked him to consider these things, but he simply winced and replied as if he was not convinced. So, deepening my state of contemplation, I pondered the best method of advice. So I told him a tale. A tale of a boy who was born with a father but no dad in a single-parent home. A boy that was born premature to an immature mother with a brother that was given up for adoption because the only option was either number 1 or number 2. And he was born first. So I guess 1 is truly the loneliest number that you will ever do because he did not do it past 2. But taking into consideration his messed up family tree will make you tremble at the thought of how a boy fought for 364 days, 31 minutes, and 13 seconds for a chance to survive. The story of a boy that battled bad blood in his body until his boldness could no longer boost his heart nor keep him alive. But this was not enough. So I told him another tale. A tale of a boy that was born in a foster house with no close friends except a brown mouse. A boy that was given up at birth because when born his life wasn't of too much worth. You know, it hurts to be alone. It hurts to adorn your pillow with tears all night long, but in day be strong. I told him to consider these things because there are worse situations he can be in, and to get his security knowing there's a caring God up above. Then I told him he was beautiful. I kissed his beak and I touched his cheek and I said, anything that at stakes differently, as a heathen that lacks love, and in a wink of an eye, he looked at me, said, "Thank you," and he flew. He flew. And it was that moment that I knew something greater was true. You see, if God can do this for an animal with the brain the size of a walnut and no soul, imagine what he can do for you. Ungratefulness stems from insecurity, so imagine yourselves being grateful for everything you have and have not. God made you beautiful, so you don't have to worry anymore. And you don't have to weep anymore. You don't have to go those nights without sleep anymore. Simply trust in God and walk away. He created you with purpose. And this is one thing that you should know. So the next time you're feeling anything less than beautiful, simply wake up, remove the blinds, and remember the bird that sings outside your window. Remember the bird that sings outside.
You're everything I ever hoped for. You're everything that I need. And you are